My next guest helped organize the opposition, Henry Aaron, Senior Fellow in Economic Studies at the Brookings Institute. So welcome to the show, sir, and tell us about this. You say, for example, that research shows that waiving the gas tax would generate major profit for oil companies rather than significantly lowering prices for consumers. Why?
Well, let me start with a correction. That count on the number of economists is now up to over 300.
Wow.
The answer is that gas companies and gas stations are selling pretty much all the gas they can at the current price, which includes the tax. Given the fact that they're selling all they can and that the likelihood of increasing supply is not very good, as you just noted earlier, there's no reason for cutting prices in the event that the tax is removed. You can sell all you can at $3.50 or $3.75 a gallon. Why cut your price?
Fair enough. Now, it's the easier point for me to understand, I'm glad you explained that one, is that it would encourage people to keep buying expensive imported oil and doesn't encourage conservation. But is 18 cents, I guess, does it really make that much difference? Doesn't it just help people? Haven't they gotten the message, you think, that gas prices are higher, they're going to stay higher? And as Hillary Clinton would say, just give people a break for a few months.
The point about the conservation is allowing for the possibility that there might be some of that 18 cents might show up in a reduction in price. To the extent that it does, it sends the wrong message, which is that Americans need to be practicing energy conservation, and not just with respect to gasoline, but right across the board. The price system is the rather blunt instrument for telling us, in this case, quite literally, that we need to slow down.
All righty. In terms of how much difference it would make, the Barack Obama campaign has said it would really only save about $30 a year. That seems like a very, very small figure.
Well, it is. It's an average. I don't know if it's exactly right. I didn't have anything to do with that estimate. There was a story in today's newspaper suggesting, correctly I believe, that the average amount people save would vary from state to state depending on how much driving they actually do. But the point, I think, to keep in mind is that it's a very small reduction, and we have now in the nation a number of very severe economic problems to confront.
Dr. Aaron, in terms of, I've got a couple of things I want to touch on with you. One is the budget deficit. This is a concern for yours, and I know that the governor of the state of New Jersey, for example, John Corzine, talked recently about jeopardizing transportation projects if any gas taxes are suspended. What is your concern with the federal budget deficit?
Well, we're deeply in the red, and maintaining revenues, as Senator Corzine, Governor Corzine mentioned, is very important for maintaining our capacity to improve roads. There is one point I would really like to make. The nation faces a number of very serious economic challenges right now. We have a foreclosure crisis. We have a situation where people are losing their jobs. There's a risk that the situation will get worse because consumption is going to fall. Meanwhile, presidential candidates are spending their time debating and proposing what is so small and is something of a gimmick and moves in the wrong direction if it encourages additional energy demand for gasoline. We've got important problems. This is really a diversion from what we should be focusing on. The last thing in the world we want to do right now is encourage Americans to consume more imported oil, which would damage the federal budget because of the reduction in taxes, but also damage the balance of payments, put more dollars in the hands of foreign treasuries that pose a long-term threat to the United States. We should be focusing on what's important, namely the economic recovery and helping people stay in their homes.
Do you consider this a case of pandering to the voters, sir?
I'm not going to use that term.
All right.
I think it's a distraction.
A distraction. Well, that's a fine word. We're going to end it right there. Henry Aaron from the Brookings Institute, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.